Hey yo, what's good? It's your boy Mixtape Moth, and today I'm gonna hit y'all with a review of the new Alchemist EP entitled "This Thing of Ours 2." Let's get to it. All right, so The Alchemist is one of the most consistent and prolific producers in hip hop. His reputation as an elite producer definitely precedes him, so I'm going to skip any lengthy intro. This new EP entitled This Thing of Ours 2 is the follow up to his release from earlier in the year. Now, despite the praise that part 1 had garnered, I must admit I was a bit underwhelmed by it. It wasn't bad, but in my opinion, the beat seemed a little dull and lukewarm for the Alchemist's standards. But he's back with part 2, which is even shorter in length, consisting of 5 songs and clocking in at just under the 12-minute mark. This features a group of lesser known rappers than the first one, with the exception of Vince Staples. You have Mavi, Mike, and Bruiser Brigade. But with that being said, let me go ahead and just jump right into a track by track breakdown. This thing opens up with Miracle Baby by Mavi, who is coming out of North Carolina. Now, to be honest, this is my first time hearing Mavi, but I like the energy and the hunger that he brought to this track. The instrumental is mellow, esoteric, and otherworldly. It's a low-key beat, but Mavi brings life to it by rapping like his life depended on it. It's just one verse, no hook. He does have somewhat of an unorthodox cadence and rhyme scheme here. Wrote this one out in the mountains, out in Tennessee. I tend a tree, attempt to kick the tens, but I got tendencies, sins to beat and grins to seek. Passed out in the mountaintop and skimmed the peak. I'm not entirely sure what he is talking about here, but the bar work was on point and the shit sounded pretty cool. So overall, I thought this was a pretty strong opener. Track 2, Lossless, performed by Mike, has a late night creeping vibe to the production. The drums are present, which is great. And I like the hazy horns and the ghostly vocal harmony as well. I'm not familiar with Mike's work, but I feel he dropped a dope and poetic style verse, and his rhyme scheme was pretty unique. Born in the plight, we was torn from the right stuff, and floored by the prize, so my core was unrighteous. Matured to abide, cry for more when the night hit. It's a sword to the sky, then it poured on the island. He's not the easiest to decode either, but the way the bars were penned was pretty impressive, and I feel he stayed in pocket. As a whole, I like the darker production, as well as Mike's slower, thoughtful and deliberate style of rhyming. After this is the posse cut Flying Spirit by Bruiser Brigade. This is a collective of rappers from Detroit led by Danny Brown. The instrumental is synth heavy and drumless. There's a hypnotic vocal sample that gives the beat that eerie, driving under city lights kind of quality. I feel each member had a slick line or two. Danny Brown states, "This that rusty 38 at grandma's place," and Fat Ray has a Tribe Called Quest reference with "Mama in my ear with that Q-tip, now I got rhymes to go." But I feel it was Bruiser Wolf who had some of the wittiest bars. Told her about my guys from the Sandlot, think we trained for cross country the way we ran blocks. Honey, run blocks, sirens and gunshots. You only get one shot to make this cream like sunblock. Then there's the clever, "This cross fire like my jeweler, a member of the clan. I'm single, but I'm a wanted man." Immediately following is Wild Style by Z Lopers, who is also a member of Bruiser Brigade. This one ended up feeling more like an interlude than a complete song. As far as the production, it's a dark and trippy beat with atmospheric effects. The title is likely in reference to the 1982 hip-hop movie Wild Style that I would strongly recommend you check out if you already haven't. Z Lopers raps, "Dance on the work like Beat Street, twisted so high like barbed wire." What you know about that Wild Style? It's just one very short verse, but it wasn't bad. At first, I thought it was more than one person rapping because of his animated flow, switch ups, and wild inflections. Yeah, this one was cool for the production vibes and flows, but I feel it could have been fleshed out a little bit more. This EP ends with the Vince Staples tracks 6-5 Heartbeats. This has a simple but effective piano loop. There's a vintage comedy sample in the background that gives us that 70s lounge kind of vibe. This was another record that I wished could have been a little longer, but I did like Vince's verse, who appeared to really be flexing his street credibility, especially on lines like, "You had a blog, we had Berettas," and "I done slid enough to see a Glock jam," as well as, "My mama helped my daddy bag the dope. That's real love." Now, I didn't particularly care for Vince's most recent project, but I like what he did here. Overall, I give this project a rating of 3.5 mics. I feel The Alchemist left a little more meat on the bones than part one. I do like this one sonically more than its predecessor, maybe because the beats are a little darker than the lighthearted loops on the first one. Obviously, I was new to some of the artists featured on this project, and I feel they are going to appeal to fans of more abstract and experimental rap. That's not typically my lane, but I kept an open mind and ended up liking most of the verses. And I thought it was dope how The Alchemist is trying to give some more exposure to some of these lesser known artists with this series. The production was dope enough, but at the end of the day, I still prefer the type of beats that The Alchemist typically laces for artists like Bodie, Freddie Gibbs, and Griselda. But this is a cool little EP to check out, no doubt. My favorite tracks include Lossless, Flying Spirit, and 6'5 Heartbeat. Let me know what you thought about this EP in the comment section below. It's your boy Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out, but be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, is peace and blessings. The Alchemist, this thing of ours. 2, 1.